We're traveling the globe with an exclusive pass into the most spectacular and expensive rooms anywhere.
If you were to build this space again, the cost would be between $30 and $40 million.
From a palatial home spa in Thailand.
It's excessive. It's 60,000 square feet.
To a two-story closet in Texas worth over $5 million. We're opening the doors to the most luxurious, one-of-a-kind rooms in the world. We begin our tour of the most lavish million-dollar rooms with a stop in Bridgehampton, New York, where one family takes entertainment to an entirely new level.
I build houses in the Hamptons, and 99.9% of the people that build these houses, it's so their kids come back.
When we were building the house, we were doing the upstairs more traditional, and when we started designing the basement, it was traditional as well. And all of a sudden, Joe and I went to the movies one night and we saw Iron Man. And when we left the movie theater, Joe said, "Oh my God, that's the inspiration for the basement."
The Farrells decided to turn their basement into a one-of-a-kind entertainment center, complete with 5 different recreation areas.
I wanted upstairs to feel like a home, but I wanted this to feel like an amusement park or a lounge, you know, or a disco down here, because it's really just fun time. This room was created for Sundays. We have big parties here, as you can see. There's 5 big TVs. We have 20, 30, 40 people here. We'll have a barber cutting hair. We have masseuses getting massages in the spa. We have manicurists and pedicurists. And we usually have food from 7 or 8 nations.
We went with modern-looking furniture, and we got to the piano, which was originally a burgundy color.
So I had to find someone who could paint a piano. So someone said, "Why don't you try a body shop?"
So we took it to an auto body shop where they spray painted it metallic silver for us.
And this poker table was a housewarming present from a dear friend. And the adults come down here very often, and we have some pretty serious poker games. I almost lost a house last summer, but we doubled down and got it back, so it was cool. And this is the bowling alley. So when people see a bowling alley in our house, they tend to think that we bowl all the time. Well, I've bowled about a dozen times in my life, but something about having a bowling alley in your basement I thought was really cool. And the theme was like South Beach Lounge. Fun, chic. In the summertime here in the Hamptons, if it rains, our phone just starts ringing like mad. All our friends from the city, they mob us. They just invite themselves, which is great with us.
The clouds roll in, 20 minutes later we have a party. So it's great.
I mean, even rainy days are great in the Hamptons, here at the Sandcastle. So the most interesting thing about this whole house, let alone the room, is that usually people start with an elevation of the front of a house, and then they'll create a floor plan. My architect and I sat down and I said, okay, here's how we start. I want a bowling alley, and I want a squash court, okay? So it started in the basement, which is like unheard of in the 150 houses that I've built. So we needed this really long house, and like an L shape. So we started with this enormous footprint, and that's how the house got so gigantic. So this entire house was designed around this room, which I think is pretty funny. If you come down here, this is very funny, probably the funniest thing in the whole house. I walk out of my driveway on a Saturday morning, and there's a truck backing up, and the door opens, and there's Michael, who I sold a house to him, and he's wheeling this out. I go, what are you doing? That's an ATM. He said, this is your gift. He has an ATM company. And he said, when you're playing cards or you're bowling and your friends lose to you, nobody leaves without paying. You say, hit the ATM, buddy, and pay up. So this is a great room, and we use this all the time early in the morning. And also, we have a lot of dodgeball games down here. So that's why it was nice to make it racquetball sized, because racquetball's 12 feet bigger. So it's also a mini gymnasium. If you look up at the basket, I gotta press a button over here. 14 months into construction, we still didn't know how we were gonna have a basketball court here. We were gonna have the basketball court come out of the ceiling, and we had a guy from the Midwest who was designing like airplane doors that were gonna open. And one of my managers was online, and the guy had just patented this. It was the first one ever installed. We were going to spend about $80,000 on engineering for the airplane doors to come out of the ceiling, and we find this online, which blows that away. for $4,000. I would never own a home again without squash or racquetball court. Welcome to the Air Lounge. This is the funnest and the most expensive room in the entire house. This room was purely built for children, although there is a little adult fun here too. These are just some fun seats that we put in for the kids. Whoa. You know? Sometimes I put my wife up there and just leave her up there. You know? These seats are for viewing kids on the half pipe. My son Joey is like a crazy skateboard dude. And if you look up here on the wall, since we're in the basement, there's no windows. So that is a virtual window. That is a live camera feed of outside of our backyard. We found some fantastic graffiti artists from the Bronx, and they came in and spent a week here every day painting this stuff. And then up here, you have a DJ booth, which would rival any system in the greatest clubs in Manhattan. And then over here, you have the rock climbing wall. When people come over, you know, it's pretty funny to watch their reactions. They look at it and they're like, oh my God. But the funniest reaction I had was from my really good friend. He walked in and he said, Joseph, this is not normal behavior. As he walked around my house, this is not normal behavior.
The end result came out so far beyond our original expectations.
This bowling alley, this room, probably cost $350,000 to build and construct. The racquetball court was probably $150,000. The Air Lounge, when you add up the virtual golf, was $60,000. The whole DJ booth and all the equipment, the light shows, the fog machines, was probably $70,000 with the karaoke. The half pipe probably cost $20,000 to build. So everything's at least $100,000, so it's amazing. Now you're frightening me because I'm adding it up. If there's anything I'd have to add or change, since I'm not such a great bowler, one of my friends gave me a great idea to have a little button in the floor that I just hit and it knocks all the pins down and nobody knows it. A strike button. But that's it.
The gym is about $1.25 million. And we actually do massages right here. It's a floating bed in the middle of our pool.
How great is this? I mean, you've got this pool right here, basically in your living room.
Our next $1 million room is a unique mid-century jewel built into the San Jacinto Mountains overlooking Palm Springs, California.
So the Elrond House is 8,901 square feet. There are 5 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms and a whole lot of concrete. This house, it's amazing because architecturally, there is nothing else out there like this. You've got the huge dome ceiling that is like a flower. It has 9 petals. There's sweeping vistas. All of Coachella Valley. It's so beautiful.
Although this desert living room is built out of concrete, the unique design ensures that it always feels light and open.
What's interesting about the ceiling is how they created it. They first set a steel structure and then put forms around it, then put concrete in, and then remove the forms, and you get this beautiful flower structure that we have here. This dome is really heavy. There's a lot of concrete there, but there's so much openness, and it looks like the dome is floating over us. The room is incredibly large. It's 60 feet. But what's so nice about it is that it felt really intimate, but it also plays to a really big crowd as well. So you can fit like 350 people in here easily, and it doesn't feel crowded. The circle is sort of like a flower, and notice that the Chihuly glass pieces were made specifically for this space. And it actually looks like a mirror, but this isn't a mirror. This is glass. It leads right in to the kitchen. The Chihuly glass goes all the way through the kitchen. And Chihuly glass is it's not cheap. I think for like the entire collection, it's probably several $100,000 worth of glass. Arthur Elrond, he had planted these yellow flowers on the rooftop of the house, so it's kind of like an homage to him, which I think is really smart. One of the best features is the fact that you've got a swimming pool in your living room. How great is this? I mean, you've got this pool right here next to your living room, basically in your living room. Another interesting fact is Diamonds Are Forever was filmed here in 1971. Remember the fight with Bambi and Thumper and Sean Connery? That was here in this room. And I think they dove off into the pool. This is the part of the room that was encased in glass, but there was a big sandstorm in like '71 and broke out the glass. It was kind of a blessing in disguise because then you get to press this button right here. Some people like to call these sliding glass doors. I like to call them retractable glass curtains. The doors are operated on a counterweight system, so as they close, there's weight in the back that helps the motor pull or push the doors open or close. You can see the pool and how literally you can jump right in and swim under the doors and get inside the house. Another great feature, the rocks. They're actually part of the foundation of the house. Lautner had to excavate down like 8 or 10 feet to expose some of the rock that you see throughout the house. This illustrates that point where you see this glass, how it was shaped around the rocks. Lautner was blending outside and inside. The most expensive part of this room is probably the whole excavation and just construction of it, because it took 2 years to do it. If you were to build this space again, the cost would be between $30 and $40 million. The homeowner definitely loves to entertain and share the room and space with friends and family, and this is the ultimate room to do that with.
Our next stop takes us to the Caribbean, where one homeowner's passion for reading is reflected in this stunning one-of-a-kind room.
There are many million-dollar rooms in the Emerald Key Estate, but truly the most impressive, unbelievable accomplishment is the library. It really does blow you away.
To indulge his love of literature, the homeowner built a 3-story library to hold his collection of over 3,000 rare books.
This is Emerald Key's $4.5 million 3-story library, probably the jewel of the entire estate. The most striking feature is the wood paneling. Every inch of the library at all 3 floors is covered with mahogany. However, the biggest expense was the labor to put it in. We brought in 4 Finnish carpenters that spent a year and a half doing all the final detailing and installation. The lower level of the library was intended to be used as a personal office. So the desk is made of exactly the same mahogany as all of the walls. And then what office library in an estate of this nature would be complete without the hidden vault? To look at this overall structure here, you would never recognize that it really is a hidden vault. Complete with the suite. The most unique feature of the Emerald Key Library is the helical staircase. It appears, or it has the feeling more of art and sculpture. It is a full helical. The center helix stringer does not change pitch throughout its entire 2.5 revolutions. There's probably $1 million worth of value in the staircase.
And to top off this amazing room, the 3rd floor offers the perfect place to relax with a drink and enjoy the gorgeous views of the Caribbean.
After a long day of activity and reading and studying and working in the library, you then retire at sunset to the cocktail lounge at the loft level of the 3rd floor of the Emerald Key Library. What makes it so special is the location being so high. We actually have a fabulous view of the Scilly Creek Marina and Chalk Sound Peninsula. These windows are fully hurricane-rated impact glass, designed to take the wind load structurally, as well as a 1-inch diameter projectile at 150 miles an hour. The glass will break. The glass has got a filament inside, it's tempered. It will break, but it will not penetrate, and it will keep the storm out. The window contract on this whole project was probably in excess of $3 million. You can build a nice house for $3 million. The library at Emerald Key exceeded my expectations, simply because I was allowed to go to places where most clients won't let you go. At the final completion of the library, cost totaled $4.5 million for this one room. I think if I had to describe it in 2 words or less, it would be architecture in motion.
I mean, you've got 47,000 square feet of the most luxurious stuff from all over the world, and the 50s diner is the favorite room in the house.
I don't think that there is any resort around the world that has a bath like this.
The next stop on our tour of the most amazing million-dollar rooms takes us to Atlanta, Georgia, where one homeowner spent millions on a room to commemorate his love for his wife.
When you walk downstairs, the mood changes. And the first thing that you see when you go to the right of the staircase is our 50s diner.
This million-dollar trip down memory lane begins in the basement diner.
The homeowner tells me that this is always the favorite room in the house. I mean, you've got 47,000 square feet of the most luxurious stuff from all over the world, and the 50s diner is the favorite room in the house. What inspired these homeowners to build something like this was when he met his wife for the very first time. They were in high school, and that diner that they were at, the homeowner, he wanted to create the exact replica of that diner. He was able to go in and purchase the actual booth that they had first met, kind of had their first blind date. When him and his wife come down here and maybe they have a milkshake or a cheeseburger, it just brings them back to those days when they were dating.
Dinner is the start of any great date, but the evening wouldn't be complete without a movie.
Back in the 50s, the homeowner and his wife, they would love to go have dinner at the diner, and then they would go watch a movie afterwards. The home theater is basically $1 million room in itself. Everything that he did to his best ability, and it was to the extreme. Even from down to how the curtain raises when the movie starts, down to the ticket booth. Just every little detail was not missed. He actually created the theater that they used to go to and frequent quite often. What you're looking at in this room was well over $1 million. Just from an electronic standpoint, it's the same type of projector that they had in the Academy Awards. I think the projector was in excess of $100-some thousand, but you've got 27 seats in there that are $3,500 a piece. The husband had tried to reproduce a lot of these things when they used to go on date night, from the 50s diner to the movie theater, and the wife really wanted to give something back to him. And he really got his start in the railroad business as a conductor. So she hired a company to come out and reproduce the railroad that he once worked, that would run from Savannah to Macon to Atlanta. And this is an actual replica down to the T of the route that he used to take. It took about 4 to 5 months to create this, and it was in excess of $100,000. When you look at this room as a cost, I mean, you're well over $1 million. I mean, just in the home theater was $1 million. And I think the level of detail that he went to create this 50s diner, you're probably talking $500,000. So you're probably talking close to $2 or $3 million just for these rooms. The best part about these rooms, to me, when I'm in these rooms, I feel like a kid. I'm not thinking about work, it's about family, it's about friendships, and it just takes you back in time. It is like a dream come true that they've created.
Our all-access pass inside these million-dollar rooms continues as we head to Mexico, where a space dedicated to relaxation is an expensive undertaking.
We are here in Casa Morrie in Punta Mita. This house is 30,000 square feet and has 11 bedrooms. To be here in the Pacific area with this weather make it unique. Here is the living room area. You can see the palapa, the roof, how high it is. Also these three huge and beautiful chandeliers. This room is great, but let me show you a beautiful room right here, just in front of us.
The homeowner wanted the amenities and experience of a world-class spa close at hand, so he built a world-class resort.
So here in the outdoor room, we have this beautiful pool, very shallow for the kids, and we have right there a bed in case that you want to read a book, to take a little nap. The owner was building before resorts around the world, and something that he was thinking to do here is to have a resort but at home. This house is very particular because it has jasmine everywhere. So just in the morning when you wake up, the first smell that you are having is jasmine. Just beautiful, the smell. We have here some of the benches by the beach. The owner loves to come here mostly in the morning with the first cup of coffee here with this view. And of course, it's no price. You cannot buy one moment like this.
Not only is this space perfect for relaxing in the sun, this outdoor room has not one, but 2 unique bathing areas guaranteed to put you into a complete state of bliss.
We have here a beautiful jacuzzi with the Buddha on top. Before, 5 years, six years ago, it was a playroom for the kids. Now all of them are teenagers. So the homeowner changed that idea of the playroom and made this beautiful bathroom for the people that want to come to enjoy.
And if a jungle jacuzzi is not soothing enough, how about taking a soak in your own open-air bathtub?
This is my favorite spa in the entire world. The owner built this area. He wants to feel it like he's in a jungle, taking a bath outside, outdoor. You have no walls, you have no roof, so you are completely outside. This spa is really unique. I don't think that there is any resort around the world that has a bath like this. It's like completely relaxing, forget about everything and have a little peace. That is that everybody needs in this moment.
Because it's our private spa, we get the appointments whatever we want. There's no waiting, there's no cancellations, there's no charging you when you don't have a massage.
I would describe the style of this pool house as surreal. It puts you in another place when you're here.
We continue our tour of the most expensive and lavish rooms around the world, crossing the Pacific to visit Thailand, and a room dedicated to achieving physical and spiritual harmony and health.
I've been a world traveler since I was 14 years old, been to 75 countries. But if you're going to have a beach house with the Asian blend, with the Buddhism weaved through it, this is the ultimate place.
I live in Bangkok mostly, but here it's just like our beach home, so we have everything we need here.
This is one of my favorite rooms. I've been in the fitness industry for a long time, and I always want to have the best home gym, so I put together this home gym, and I think it's pretty good. For me, this is the best room in the house because it has every piece of equipment that you would ever imagine. We have about 85 pieces of equipment here, probably about $1 million in fitness equipment, but we spend 2 hours a day here. This is called a jungle gym, you know, and most top fitness centers have this, but I don't think that there's probably that many houses in the world that'll have a jungle gym. I mean, this is probably about 50, 60,000 US dollars, maybe more. The room is 4,000 square feet, just the gym. And it's a big fitness center for 2 people, but you know, I don't believe really in having a ceiling, like, okay, there's 2 people, we need just that. Actually, it's just fun. Having the gym here, it's automatic, and it's so convenient. I mean, if you don't work out here, I mean, the guilt will swallow you up.
And right next to the gym is a $300,000 luxurious home spa.
Joy designed this place. She's been now in the spa business for a little over 5 years. She has spas throughout Thailand.
The spa rooms is very important because it makes us stronger, healthier, and more beautiful, actually. This is just like the reception area. After the treatment, you can sit down here and have a cup of tea, relax.
You have this big bed here to hang around in case your masseuses are busy with other guests. That doesn't happen here, see? Because it's our private spa, we get the appointments whatever we want. There's no waiting, there's no cancellations, there's no, charging you when you don't have a massage. This is one of our spa rooms. You do facials, manicure, pedicure. They have the hot stone massage. And here's a hydro bath with super powered jets. This is more the Thai room. This is the Thai massage on the ground as opposed to a table.
This is steam room, the same as in the regular hotel. It's nice and relaxing here. Sometimes we do the steam room with Thai herb, which is very good, excellent.
We never leave the house. No need to go anywhere. In here is hassle-free. That's all I want. We actually do massages right here. It's a floating bed in the middle of our pool. So the swimming pool the tiles are all from Italy. It's 37 meters long and it's about 12 feet deep in the center. The element, again, is about health, relaxation, fitness, the celebration of life and feeling great. So this is one of the most special rooms in the house. We call it the meditation room. We designed it at the very beginning of the house. It had to be a room that has all the energy, all the openness, a place that you can more than just relax your body, relax your spirit completely. And Joy and I do meditation every day. It's the focal point of the spa. It's more than the spa. It's more than the gym. This is really deep relaxation. One time we had 19 monks here, but even the monks relaxed. This is a place where monks can relax. That's something. If my parents were alive and they saw this house, they would kill me. Because it's excessive, it's a big house, it's 60,000 square feet. So I love it, I'm proud of it, it's a bit much, but it's exactly what we want. Joy named the house Beyond, because it's beyond what we dreamt of. Together, the spa and the gym is about $1.25 million. If you add in the meditation room, another 100,000, 150,000, so about 1.4 million for those three. That doesn't include the outdoor features. I'm very proud of the room. It's me, the gym, Joy is the spa. It's a signature. It was just made to have the best thing for what I like to do, and that's what it is. So I feel good about it. I feel proud about it, really.
The project that started out to be $25,000 ended up taking over a year and costing approximately $200,000.
The grand staircase is magnificent in that it is a replica of that which was on the SS Titanic.
Our tour of these $1 million rooms continues as we travel to Arizona to a space designed to showcase luxury and speed.
While there are several rooms in this home that would be considered $1 million rooms, my personal favorite would be the fantastic 5,000 square foot auto gallery.
Located on the bottom floor of this recessed two-story home, this working garage doubles as a showcase for the owner's exotic car collection.
This auto gallery can hold comfortably 15 different cars. They are fast, they are custom made, and can they go? The owner has a passion for rare cars, and aren't they fabulous? In order to build the auto gallery, the owner had to do extensive excavation. He had to bring in the largest crane in Arizona to take out these huge boulders. One of the incredible features of this auto gallery is the turntable. The owner and his wife were watching the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, and you might recall there's a scene in the movie where a car crashes through the showroom window. And in that scene, there's a car that's featured on a turntable. And the owner leaned over to his wife and he said, "Oh, I have to have one of those." When the owner decided to have a turntable, the concrete floors were already poured. So by hand, a 20-foot circle had to be chipped out. And it all had to be done by hand because the ceilings were already poured and they couldn't bring in large equipment to help. When he decided to make the turntable match the cobblestone floor, he needed to add 8 inches more of concrete, which ended up weighing 20,000 pounds. So the turntable had to be able to withstand 30,000 pounds. The project that started out to be 1 month and $25,000 ended up taking over a year and costing approximately $200,000. The chandelier that you see in the auto gallery came from a castle in Europe, and when it arrived, it actually had the molten wax still in the chandelier. It had to be retrofitted with electricity and then hung in the auto gallery. The other lighting in the auto gallery can also be dimmed, and then certain cars can be highlighted depending on which car the owner would like to feature for the moment. The cost of the chandelier and all the lighting was $75,000. So between the $200,000 turntable, the walls, the lights, this room alone is over $1 million. Throw in his passion for exotic cars, and this is a multi-million-dollar showroom gallery.
Next, we're off to Lake Tahoe to visit a modern-day chateau that features not one, but 2 amazing $1 million spaces side by side.
The Grand Hall is absolutely exquisitely appointed. It's adorned with the finest furnishings that you could find anywhere in the world. It is a usable room, even though it is this kind of a Gothic style where you're using these magnificent beams that are like Westminster Hall when you're in Westminster Abbey. As we move in this direction, you'll see these 18th century surround fireplaces that mirror each other. So there's one on either side of the room. And you can tell just by looking at my height and the height actually of the surround itself and then the height of the room, how magnificent they are. When you take a peek over here, I think you'll see these phenomenal 30-foot windows that kind of shower the light into this room. As you go up and you look at the beams, there are actually 5 chandeliers in this particular room, and you can see just the massiveness of the center chandelier. And most of even the smaller chandeliers are probably too big for an ordinary home. This is an 1879 Steinway grand piano, and you can see the beautiful ornate legs. This is as exquisite as you could get for a beautiful Steinway, and it fits in this room just absolutely perfectly.
But the real showstopper is a custom-built foyer that would make even film director James Cameron envious.
The grand staircase is magnificent in that it is a replica of that which was on the SS Titanic. The actual owners just embraced the Titanic, the movie, and they felt the whole essence of the movie fit into the architectural elements of Tranquility here. So at any moment we're looking for Leonardo DiCaprio to walk down the stairs. The research that went into every little detail of making this staircase exactly like the Titanic was amazing. So they had architects, they had researchers, and they got everything really just right on target. All the wood is mahogany and all hand carved, and all the wrought iron as well, all done on site here. And amazingly enough, these were done by local artisans. So these artisans came out of the woodwork and they just were able to put their deepest heart and soul into every little piece of this property. And then the other beautiful thing about this is the exact replica of the dome, which is just magnificent in itself. I don't think the rotunda at the White House would have something that would be bigger than this. This home was actually built to look like it was 100 years old. And even though it is only 10 years old, the property itself has this old chateau feeling, and it could be 1,000 years.
I would say the seashell is probably the focal point and is the most unique element of it.
When I was building this closet, I was able to buy exactly what I wanted at any cost.
We're We're traveling the world with an exclusive pass into the most luxurious $1 million rooms. Our next stop takes us to the Midwest for a look at a room inspired by the deep seas.
What most people don't realize when they drive up to this facility is that this is a pool house. Most people mistake it for a custom home. I would describe the style of this pool house as surreal. It puts you in another place when you're here. The building is approximately 2,500 square feet. It has 7 bodies of water, indoor pool, indoor baby pool, indoor spa, outdoor lap pool, cold therapy pool, and baby pool. The outdoor pool is 65 feet long, 10 feet deep. What this is actually a swim lane. The homeowner didn't want the standard commercial swim lane. So what we crafted was a ceramic tile swim lane that's made to look like coral. You'll see there's lots of sea life, seahorses, fish, dolphins, and coral. So it gives the homeowner something to look at while she's swimming her laps and give her a guide to stay online.
These are very old sculptures that the homeowner found. Actually had them refurbished. For all the sculptures around the pool and everything, it's probably about $100,000. This pool house has geothermal heating because this pool is kept operational all year round. So when it's 0 degrees outside, the water temperature is maintained at 86 degrees. So this pool is steaming.
A swimmer will swim up through the cave, through the rain curtain, walk up the steps, and be able to access the sauna. As you can see, river rocks throughout. Here we have a shower. This is a full working sauna. You could see it's put together in a cave painting motif. There's an interesting story about this. In one of the design meetings, there were some sketches and mock-ups from some of the artisans, and they weren't really hitting on what the homeowner was looking for. And she pulled out an Hermes scarf that happened to have cave paintings on it. And the tile designer was able to take that scarf and translate it into this motif. You could see on the ceiling the tile made to look like stalactites and stalagmites.
But the centerpiece of this one-of-a-kind pool is a $150,000 custom-designed seashell.
I would say the seashell is probably the focal point and is the most unique element. We were sitting in a meeting one day and they had a mock-up of the shell and it just wasn't what she wanted. And the homeowner left the room for a little bit, came back and brought a pewter ashtray, and she said, "This is exactly what I want." And one of the artisans with whom we were working was able to craft this out of the same material that they make a fiberglass boat hull out of. It came in 3 pieces from Wales. They assembled it on site and then hand applied the ceramic tile, sort of opalescent on the inside, and then it's sort of nubby on the outside to mimic an actual seashell. The homeowner originally wanted a pool with an umbrella over it, and it sort of evolved. The umbrella became a seashell, and then the project became an indoor-outdoor pool, and the shell became sort of a shroud to guide the swimmers as they traveled from the indoor to the outdoor pool. When the homeowner asked us to design the door, we hadn't heard of anything like it, and no one that we talked to ever heard of such a thing, so we knew that it had to be designed from scratch. So we went back to the drawing board, we found a local engineer that worked in conjunction with us to design it. The door alone cost $100,000. I mean, it took 3 years from concept to completion just for that door.
What the homeowner wanted was some sort of fiber optic in the ceiling to create like a starry night type of feel.
Stars are in the actual locations of the constellations too. They're actually strategically placed in the correct spot in the sky. Looking at the details, you know instantly that it's a $1 million room plus. It's our signature pool. I'm not sure that we could be in business for another 50 years and ever be involved in a project of this magnitude. I feel like a kid every time I come in here. I would love to spend summers here with my own kids.
The cost of this closet, you easily have $5 million before you even think about it.
Our tour of the most expensive rooms in the world next visits Dallas and a room inspired by one woman's passion for an icon of French fashion.
Welcome to my closet. This room was inspired by my love of Chanel fashion. I did admire Coco Chanel because she was a woman way before her time. She did things in a world that was all men, and she competed and she succeeded.
Shirley Goldfield's closet is so massive that it occupies its own wing adjacent to the master suite, and it takes up not just one, but 2 stories.
What makes this closet so expensive are the things that are in it, because there's a lot of couture, there's a lot of vintage. Some of the handbags here are very rare. It has a lot of neat little features, like hidden belts. Wouldn't we all love to have that? I mean, when I built this closet, I tried to think of everything that I would need. These cabinets were built for my Chanel bags. The cases on either side here weren't designed to be display cases, but it turns out that I took some of my favorite bags and I put them here because they're easier for me to find, and so they became like a display case. All the drawers on the bottom have my shoes in them. All of these drawers here were designed for the sweaters and things that you can see them before you get to them. That's why I have the glass doors. This is the vanity. This is where all my makeup is. This little chair is one of 2. It's a pair that we found in France. It's a chair that I like to imagine it probably sat in a chateau and some grand lady sat in it, and it's easy to sit in here and fantasize, especially when you know that the furniture is all antique. One of the things in this closet that I really am proud of is my Chanel rug. It was something that I really wanted and something my designer was able to have someone make for me. It completes the ambiance of the closet. I probably paid around $10,000 for this rug. When I was building this closet, I was able to buy exactly what I wanted at any cost. Everything is gold. The doorknobs are gold Cheryl Wagner. They're 18 karat when we built this closet. I wanted it to be the best. The chandelier was made for us in Florence, Italy. They make almost all of them in 18 karat gold, which is what this chandelier is. So it is a pretty special chandelier, and probably around $30,000 we spent on that. Okay, we can't miss the upstairs. We've got to go to the 2nd floor because you've got to see this. And this staircase, if you look at the design of it, if you ever see a picture of the famed mirrored staircase on Rue Cambon in Paris, that's the one that the Chanel models always walk down. And I couldn't do the mirrors because I couldn't get them to bend, but we did take pictures and we did copy this. And I hope they're not insulted. I think they should be proud. This staircase is so special because I've had many young brides take their picture on that staircase because they feel like a princess coming down it. Welcome to my 2nd floor closet. This is what every woman would love to have. This is storage for everything you can think of. I keep hats up here. I keep a lot of extra clothing that's all color coordinated. There are shoe racks really all over the top of this room because there's more space than I need right now, so I might have to go out and shop and buy some more. This closet did cost a lot to build, but then when you add all the clothing, and we all know that Chanel bags aren't cheap. When you start adding all that, you easily have $5 million before you even think about it. This 2-story closet with all the fancy little things is what I would wish for every woman.